Hey guys, it's your favorite doctor. It's Dr. Motivation. And today, as you all know, was the new member recognition ceremony at the University of Johannesburg for Golden Key, and I was the keynote speaker. What a day. So I started my day at work, saved a few lives because that's what we do as superhuman. Then I got stopped by some cops for speeding. Not going to talk too much about that because litigation, etc., etc. And then I went to my makeup artist. It was phenomenal. And when I tried on my dress, as Murphy's Law would have it, my dress completely fell apart and I had a wardrobe malfunction. Long story short, I literally made it here in the nick of time. And it's interesting because I was actually speaking about disappointments and failure. And I was quite disappointed by the day. But I managed to still pick myself up, get up on stage, and deliver the message that needed to be delivered. As introduced, I'm Dr. Randy Lample. And before I get started, I'd just like to acknowledge my family in the front who basically threatened me that if I did not mention them in my speech, I'd be walking home tonight. And I really don't know how far these highlands would take me. So shout out to my amazing family. So when the president of the Golden Key UJ chapter, Mr. Mohomotsi, said to me that I'd be delivering the keynote address tonight, I was really excited about my 3 seconds of fame, and that's really all I could think about. But I very quickly had to ask myself, what is it that I needed to hear when I was in your shoes? What is it that I needed to hear when I was a second-year medical student and I was told that I was in the top 15 academic achievers in my class? A class that was full of overachievers, a class that was full of head boys and head girls, students with honors blazers, a class that was full of students that were consistently called the cream of the crop. So I had to take myself back to 2011 when I was in your seat. And I realized that I did not need to hear about how awesome I was and about what a great achievement this was. What I needed to hear was about the reality of failure and the perseverance that it would take to maintain this level of greatness. So in 2011, I was in second year and I got my golden key. It was a very tough year, but I managed to pass. Third year came and yet again I passed. Fourth year came and I passed again. In fourth year, I started to change my priorities a little bit. I didn't attend classes as often as I used to. I started to focus on my other talents, but yet again, I passed. Fifth year came, and once again, I passed. Then it was sixth year, the final year of medical school. My degree was so close, I could almost taste it. So how it worked in final year was that there were 6-week blocks. So at the end of every 6 weeks, you write exams in the last week. And on the Friday night, results would come out on the webpage. The results would only be student numbers of those students who did not make it through the block. And this happened at around 7 p.m. So like clockwork, I was near the end of my degree. I had 3 blocks left, and I was in my surgical block, and it was Friday night, and I sat on my phone and I kept on refreshing the webpage, refreshing the webpage, and refreshing the webpage. Eventually, the marks came out. And to my shock, I saw my student number on the list of students who did not make it for the block. I can't tell you how many times I stared at that page, rearranging the numbers in my head, refreshing the page, and wishing that that student number was not mine. But I very quickly had to come to terms with the fact that that was my student number, and I had to repeat the block. So at the crack of dawn on Monday morning, I rushed to the University of the Witwatersrand and I went to see the head of department. And I said to him, "Can you please tell me how much I got for this exam?" And he said to me, "You got 58.7%. And I said, "Okay, can I please request a remark of my paper?" He said, "No problem." And he left the room for a few minutes. And in those few minutes, I was hoping and praying and wishing that something would change. When he came back into the room, he said, "We remarked your paper, and now you've got 59.7%. And I said to him, "Well, are you going to fail me on 59.7%? And he looked at me and he said, "Unfortunately, I cannot pass you because the marks have already been discussed with the board. However, it's very strange because I looked at your track record and it seems that you've been an A and B student all along. So I'll make a deal with you. I won't let you repeat the entire 6-week block. What you can do is only repeat the exam, but you have to write this exam at the same time as you write the exam for the next block. And if you fail either or of these exams, you have to repeat the entire academic year. So in this moment, I was a little desperate, so it sounded a bit good to me. But when I really thought about it, I realized that this was a trap. So I want you guys to take 6 lessons that I learned during this time of failure and disappointment. I want you to keep it at the back of your head so that when you are faced with failure and disappointment, you retrieve these lessons and you use them to your advantage. Lesson number 1. Failure is inevitable. Nobody is immune to failure. Failure and disappointment will come for you, it will find you, it will hunt you down. And I want you guys not to run away from failure. Failure is important to achieve success. And if you listen to my story, I tried to run away from the failure by looking for loopholes, but I had to go through it to be where I am today. There are some of you sitting in the audience thinking, Dr. Lampo, you're wasting my time. This is my final year at UJ, and I've just made the golden key. I really don't think that failure is in the cards for me. Let me assure you that life is multifaceted. And although you might excel in academics, there will be a department in life where disappointment will find you. Number 2, failure is not the end of the world. When you are faced with disappointment, you tend to feel like you want the world to swallow you up. You feel worthless, you don't feel like hanging around your family or your friends. You just feel like it's the end of the road. And in that moment, it really does feel like you've disappointed yourself to a point where this is it. I want to remind you all that failure is something that happens to you. It is not who you are. Failure does not define you. It's simply an event that we all need to go through to get to success. Number 3, failure helps you to redefine your priorities. So as I mentioned, in 4th year, I started to focus on my other talents. I started to do things that were not in line with me uplifting my academics. So when you fail, you need to go back to the drawing board. You need to take your goals and your list of goals and ask yourself, what is important? And you need to make sure that your actions mirror your goals. Success tends to make us a little bit comfortable and sometimes even lazy. So now that you've achieved this, make sure that you keep on focusing on the main thing and keep on focusing on the main goal. Number 4, failure generates resilience. Resilience is the capacity to recover quickly from difficulties or toughness. I want you to focus on the key word quickly. So resilience is the capacity to recover quickly from difficulties or toughness. So the more you fail, the greater resilience you grow. That means the more you fail, the quicker it will be for you to pick yourself up when you meet failure the next time. So those of us with big dreams in the room, we're really going to require big resilience, because before great success comes great failure. Number 5, relationships are key. I remember coming home to my parents and telling them that I had unfortunately not made it through the block and I had to repeat the block. And I possibly have the most romantic parents in the world. But my parents were extremely calm when I told them. It's almost like clockwork. They expected this to happen because the natural progression of life. From a childhood, they usually heard great news from a child who, after she spoke, it was usually a moment of celebration. They embraced me very well and they supported me throughout the journey. So you need to make sure that you surround yourself with people who love you, people you can trust, people who will be your voice of reason when you cannot reason for yourself. And these are the people that will carry you through these difficult times. Number 6, never ever give up. I'm sure we can all guess how my story ended. I repeated the 6-week block, and as I stand before you today, I'm a qualified medical practitioner. And so Winston Churchill said it perfectly when he said, success is not final, failure is not fatal, but it is the courage to continue that counts. the honorary members sitting on my right are being celebrated tonight for thriving in all three pillars of the Golden Key, namely academics, leadership, and community service. These honorary members occupy these seats because they have overcome failure and adversity. They occupy these seats because they have accumulated heaps of resilience over the years. And against all odds, they've dusted themselves off and they've kept on focusing on the goal that's ahead. So the real work for you starts now. As we welcome you to the Golden Key family, you have a responsibility of excellence in all fields. I'd like to ask all new Golden Key members to join me in a pledge to a lifetime of excellence, because essentially that is what the Golden Key is about. May all new Golden Key members please rise. There are some members who are not new who are rising, but it's okay. I want you all to repeat after me as we take a pledge to a lifetime of excellence. As a Golden Key member of the University of Johannesburg, I do solemnly declare that I will always strive to uphold the pillars of this organization. I will pioneer through life with the core principles of a leader. Wherever possible, I will advocate for the needs of my community. I will utilize my education to propel me forward as I build my legacy. In the pursuit of my dreams, I will remember to rethink education and reinvent myself. I will not take for granted this lifetime opportunity, rewards and success. I aim to mirror their values of integrity, collaboration, innovation, respect, diversity, excellence, and engagement. I will continuously conduct myself as a respectable member of the Golden Key. I make this declaration upon my honor. I would like to officially welcome you all as the new members of the International Golden Key Honor Society of the University of Johannesburg. Let's give them a round. I want to thank you guys for all the love, all the support, and I hope you guys stay subscribed to my channel.